I thought I had a discipline problem. I didn't. I had a wanting problem. I fell for the same trap over and over again, which was that I started something, and after a little bit, I was like, I can't find myself doing this in the next 12 months, and then I quit. And I did that over and over and over and over again. I didn't know what was going on. Like I just thought, okay, I might, I'm lazy, I'm undisciplined, I'm just weak. But it turned out it wasn't like any of these things at all. It was just as simple as it wasn't for me. Like it just wasn't something I found like meaningful, and something I was actually willing to suffer for, and something I was actually willing to do when in the hard times. It's just like there's these types of foods that like you have either people loving them or hating them. It's kind of like that. Like it's like careers. You see everyone on the internet be like, you know, do this business to make 10K a month, or like so on and so forth. And it's not that those businesses are, you know, objectively bad. They make money from it. Like there's people making money from it, but for those people it might be worth it, but for some other people it might not be worth it. I tried many businesses like this, AI automation, drop shipping, SMMA, content creation, automation of like content automation, like many of these things. And I was just like, it wasn't for me. It's not that they're bad. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't something that I found meaningful, and I found something worth suffering for, and that's okay, because actually realized this when my friend was in the same boat as me, where he didn't really know like what he wanted to do. So he obsessed about like asking the right questions. I didn't. I was like, just make fucking money. Like that's it. I just thought about that. But then he was like, he went that way, and I went like the money way. And he tried to find the right questions to ask. So with the right questions, he ended up, which he still does, which like props to him. He's been doing this for quite a bit now, which is to write books. He's an author, and I was like what, how has he found this thing? While I'm just like, I try to chase money and like become like actually make money from what I'm doing like fast. Why don't like why do I find life so miserable? And he said like two things. I think like two questions you have to ask, like that he asked himself, that helped him lead towards doing something that he actually wanted to do, and something he found meaningful and worth suffering for, which was, I think it was something like, if you would have done that one thing and you would have known, or like you would have not known, because if you know it's not that fun, but if you would have failed at that thing, would you have regretted it, or would you still do it again because you just found it fun to do? That's the first one. The second one is like, are you, oh, what was it again? Like, do you think it's worth suffering for? Like, are you willing to suffer for this? Do you actually find this meaningful? Like, do you actually think this is something that like, would you, or no, it's actually this one, which is what would you regret not trying to do? Pretty much, like, that's it. Because if you like, how do I explain this? If there's something that you don't want to do, obviously it's not worth it. Obviously you're not going to regret not trying it, because you just didn't find it meaningful. But what is the one thing that, if you're not trying it and seeing what happens, what would have the most, what would be the most painful for you to think back to? And for me, it's what I do now. making Nobo, social connection app. That actually where I actually try to make it beneficial for people. It's a little bit as like a counter movement for the big social media companies that has like been a pretty much like duopoly, which is like Meta and Google for a pretty long time now. And I just thought it was extremely useful. I like extremely important for me to actually try. There's been many times where I've been like, this doesn't make sense. I will fail. This is not gonna work. Like, I just calculated way too much. But in reality, like, if I quit, I would still think back to it. Like, what if I continued? Like, what if I continued? I've had many of these moments, and that has actually helped me continue to do what I'm doing. And I'm not saying it like, if it doesn't work, so what? Because knowing that I like actually tried and like didn't leave anything in the tank, I can fail proudly. But if I didn't even actually try it, because I knew what I wanted, but I didn't try it. I didn't actually try. I would regret it so much. So much. And I think it's really important to ask these questions because I really love this. I'm paraphrasing here. Elon Musk, I think, said this, which is it's really all about asking the right questions, not having the right answers. Because if you can ask the right questions, it's now easier to actually get to the answer because you know the question to ask, like the direction to go in. While if you are trying to get all like if you don't know the question at all, because every problem had a question, so you like trying to actually work on the questions to ask yourself and not just like the solutions. That's really, really useful. And that's pretty much like the whole thing here. I've tried so many times, or tried. I haven't really tried, to be honest, because I just didn't find the things that I did to be useful. So I didn't bother. And I essentially just I have a pretty strong belief that if you're going to like do something, you should actually if you're doing something, you should do it to win, not just you should do it to win. But also make sure that you want it enough that you're going to go through the best days are extremely good and the worst days are better than most other people's worst days doing that same thing. So that's it. That's it. Just try to ask the right questions. The two questions that, as I've said, what would you regret not trying to do? First, second, what if you did that thing and you failed, would you do it anyways? If the answer is yes, I think it's a pretty strong beginning, I think. Yeah. See you later.